In an effort to get to know our newest associate broker, Niko Hansen, we're going to do rapid fire questions. A couple ground rules, Niko.
Okay.
The immediate answer, the first thing that comes to mind, your gut response,
Okay.
give it to us, and then we can explain and ask follow-up questions. Let's get right into the first question. Niko is a dual citizen. See if you can guess which country throughout this video. Would you prefer living in New Mexico or Denmark?
So you get
Don't answer that.
Oh.
With being a dual citizen, do you have to do jury duty in Denmark and the United States, or is that just a U.S. thing?
I don't know if they have my address here, so that's a good question.
It like the IRS doesn't have your address?
No,
Like you're skating. Oh, Denmark
well, that
doesn't have your
too.
address?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. I assume like my parents would get it and tell me. That's a great question.
Niko's also obviously a husband and a father to this beautiful girl named Solvay. Solvay, are you trying to make her a dual citizen as well?
Yeah, I want to try too.
I love it.
I think I remember looking into it. I think I have up until she's 18, but definitely try before then.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right, let's get moving with these questions. Would you, if you had $1 million to build a house right now, would you build it New Mexico style or Scandinavian style?
Mixture. I would do the outside New Mexican and the inside Scandinavian minimalism.
That might be a fun mix. I feel like you kind of do still have to do, well, if you do New Mexican outside, you still need to do like clean lines.
Yeah, it gets that Scandinavian.
You can't do like rounded bullnose stucco edges. It'll have to be clean.
Yeah, I think it's kind of that modern
New Mexican.
Adobe, yeah.
Modern Santa Fe style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
We mentioned that you're a dad already. If you guys have another baby, would you prefer boy, girl, or don't care?
Actually, it's funny. We were talking about this the other day, and I was like, I would love another girl, I think. But we were having a hard time because we were thinking of names. And it was like,
another name is hard.
Another girl name. We have a boy name locked down, but we don't have a girl name locked down. So it's kind of hard. Yeah.
Interesting. Is there a plan for a baby at the time or not yet?
There are plans.
Good.
There are plans.
10-year, 15-year plan?
Yeah, 5, 10.
I love it.
Yeah.
Let's switch gears a little bit to your soccer career. You played soccer at the University of New Mexico, and then you played professionally for 7 years. Is that correct?
Yep, 7.
As a soccer player, you were an attacker. What was the toughest defender you faced professionally?
Oh, the first one that popped to mind was Nuhu. That guy was...
He's a freak athlete.
Oh, my gosh.
Is he still with the Sounders?
I think so.
Outside back?
I think he's still at Seattle. He is still at Seattle because Paul Ariola just went there, and he's like, the best part about joining is I don't have to play against Nuhu anymore.
Dude, he is like super committed to every tackle. Freak athlete.
I remember watching him. We played them in preseason one time, and I watched him play, and I was like, man, this guy just runs all over. He looked awkward and crazy, and then like as he's grown in his role, I'm like, man, that guy's a handful.
Yeah, he never seemed like the best on the ball or the best decision maker. I swear, like every other time I watch him play, he gets a red card or something. But man, I could understand playing against him would be tough.
He was tough.
Favorite professional goal that you scored?
My first one.
Yeah.
My first one for sure. It was my debut. I'm one of few that scored on their debut. Me, Zlatan.
That's
always a fun fact I like to throw out.
Of course.
No, it was definitely amazing. I think there was a lot even leading up to that. Like, there was a lot of teammates that were like, "You're gonna play this weekend. Like, be prepared." And the coaches were talking to me, and so in order like to score that goal is like,
it was a game winner. Is that right?
Yeah, it's a game winner.
3-2
against Portland.
At home.
At home.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Is it you ever just like get goosebumps thinking about it?
Yeah.
Like, is it special of a moment?
I have the ball still from that. They give me the game ball afterwards.
Did the team sign it?
The team signed it.
Oh, that's
at my
awesome.
house. Yeah.
That's cool. As a professional and as a college player, did you have any pregame rituals that were important?
I dabbled in trying some. They never really stuck too much. I tried the ice shower before we left for games. So just quick 30 seconds on as cold as possible. Wasn't always easy at hotels because they have water pressure and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But no, I think just listen to music for the most part. Sometimes I listen to slow music. Sometimes I listen to, heavy
cool
EDM stuff. But
yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
So you just got into your flow depending on the scenario, you were able to adapt.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Let's switch gears back to New Mexico a little bit.
Okay.
What is your favorite spot to ski in New Mexico?
Ooh, I have only been to Santa Fe, Angel Fire, and Pajarito.
That's a good amount.
And Pajaritos is very affordable. Great little
Mm-hmm.
mountain, easy to get to in Los Alamos.
Mm-hmm.
Santa Fe is beautiful, like at the top of the mountain. I've only been there a couple of times.
Yeah.
And Angel Fire is fun. I have a friend who has a cabin there, so it's fun to go to. But my favorite probably is Santa Fe. I get to be at Taos, so we
Yeah.
probably have Taos people go to Taos.
It's just cool that there are, like, within 2.5 hours, so many options in New Mexico to get out and get some high quality skiing.
So good. Always.
Along those lines, but a little bit different.
Little
Ojo Caliente or Ojo Santa Fe, the original?
OG.
OG.
Ojo Caliente, just the vibes, like the spa. Oh, I just can't even, like, being there feels so much more tranquil, and like you remove yourself and it feels spiritual almost, where Ojo Santa Fe is a little bit more, it's not manufactured, but yeah, it feels a little bit more like a resort kind of getaway, where that one's actually like, oh, it's just, me by myself, or me and my wife, or so much more.
That's great.
Intimate.
In Albuquerque, what's your favorite date night restaurant? And I want to ask this question because Niko says it wrong every time, so I want to correct him just for the video. Go ahead.
El Campo.
Campo.
El Campo.
Campo.
Oh, okay.
We're not Italian at all. I don't know where there, but...
No. Campo. Los Poblanos. Los Poblanos.
Poblitos.
Beautiful spot though.
Yes, the
best date night, best drinks. Oh, best drinks I've had. I lived in 5 different cities.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a lot more. 6 different.
But
Denmark.
Recent,
yeah. Best drinks by far. I like recollect out of everywhere I've been. I'm like, man, I dream about Campo drinks.
Yeah, this is the thing about Los Poblanos too, is you can go to the spa, great event space, like for a wedding or whatever.
Yep.
They have the little farm shop, which is awesome.
Yep.
Campo's amazing. The rooms are beautiful. I mean, it's just pretty incredible that we have that just down the street from us.
Such a good spot.
Great place. You went to the University of New Mexico, graduated with what degree?
Major in psych, my minor in bio.
I love it.
Yep.
When you were at UNM, favorite coffee shop?
Michael Thomas.
It's 2 a.m. You're out on the town. You're going back home, because I think you lived off of what, like Girard and
Lead.
And Lead. Yeah, you were right there on
Block
Lead,
away.
on the corner. Yeah.
Johnson.
Where are you? Also, Coach Fish, this never happened. Niko was never out this late. He was always in bed early, like a good boy.
10 p.m. in bed.
9 in bed, asleep by 10.
Sleep.
2 a.m. Where are you going to get a bite to eat?
Last call.
Good answer.
Do you remember last call? It was just a little hole in the wall. Like,
of course,
it was so good. It was,
Oh, it hit.
And it was
so
go get it
hard.
and just walk home. Burrito, just warm burrito. Oh, it'd be the best. Yeah.
That is the thing, that you could totally take it on your walk home.
Oh, we would. Yeah.
Yeah.
Me by myself, not
no other teammates.
No other teammates.
And
walking back to our house.
Yeah, you were sober. In Albuquerque, would you prefer the west side of Albuquerque or the northeast heights?
Ooh, I love the closeness in the Northeast Heights, like right there in the foothills, Sandias. It's so, again, tranquil. It just feels amazing. But the views from the west side are so good.
Yeah.
I'd probably choose the west side, because that's where I live, so I kind of have to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sunrises, sunsets. Oh, seeing the Sandias from that far is
amazing.
So nice.
I love it. Let's talk about weather for a minute. So growing up, you lived in Denmark for 10 years before moving to the States?
Yep.
What weather would you prefer, Albuquerque or Denmark?
I'm biased. I like the cold. So probably.
Oh, really?
I like cold. Denmark for sure.
Psycho.
Yeah. But Minnesota cold, that's a bit too much. I mean, that's like almost 7 months of
brutal
winter.
So Denmark is 60s.
Very mild.
Think of Seattle type of weather.
Rainy,
Yeah.
Yeah, 60s pretty much year round. Get a little cold in the winter, get a little warmer in the summer, but
You mentioned this the other day, like, in I feel like a lot of Scandinavian countries or Europe in general, they leave their kids outside as they're
hmm
growing up. It's kind of crazy, like like we think, like even today, I think here in Albuquerque the high's like 65, and I think of like leaving Emmy outside. It's
yeah.
like crazy to think of, but they do it regularly.
Oh, just bundle up and go outside. Like the thing about getting outside and getting just fresh air, and it's like the Danish way of like growing up. And even the kids, I remember when we came back, we went to visit with my daughter and we put her inside for her naps. And they're like, oh, she doesn't nap outside? Like what? Like she naps inside every day? And we were just like, yeah. I was like, what? They if it's cold, if it's snowing, if it's raining, they have them out in they have these little like bassinet beds that are a little bit bigger for the kids as they get older too. They just sleep outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's they just know how good it is for them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's funny. I mean, not funny, but interesting
yeah.
that the air can be so healing. It leads me to, I remember, I forget where Casper came from. Do you remember where Casper
Guillermo, he
was? He
was
Swedish?
Swedish.
I remember when Casper came here, we took him to Lucas Sligman and I took him to breakfast at uh, I forget if it was Frontier or Blake's, and put like a big green chili burrito in front of him for
For
breakfast. And
breakfast.
both him and Simon, who was from Belgium, correct?
Oh, he had a whole bunch of different, like
He was
three
from
different
all over Europe.
passports.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Just seeing their faces and even holding it in their hands. Like it's true in a
They
lot
didn't
of
use a.
Scandinavian countries, they basically eat, if they do eat breakfast, it's like very minimal, like avocado toast,
Oh yeah,
small amount portions.
yeah,
Was that a bit of a culture shock coming to the US for you when you were that age, or were you just such a young kid that you didn't even sort of
yeah. I
understand?
don't remember that being. I do remember a little bit of culture shock with like traffic and the cars and school was different and
Yeah.
but like food wise I don't see too much of it. I don't remember that being too much of a difference.
Yeah.
Random thought, but did Casper and Simon want to use a knife and fork when they ate beer?
Yes. Yeah. Knife and fork every meal. The beer that you brought to my house was Carlsberg.
Heck
That's
yeah.
a Danish local beer.
Yep.
Would you say that's the best European beer?
Yeah.
You've been very pro Denmark in this video so far, so I'm trying to find something that we can say like, look, clearly Stella's better.
Mm,
Clearly
mass produced.
uh
Heineken, no.
Heineken.
No.
There's got to be something over there.
Guinness is its own.
Guinness.
Guinness is its
What about
own.
like a German beer, like a Oktoberfest
No.
during Oktoberfest?
See, I just like a good like even when I go to breweries, I have a hard time because I just like a good classic crisp beer, and I hate IPAs. I can't do IPAs. I have a hard time with Mexican lagers are pretty good, but I just want a good crisp
I understand.
European lighter beer. And yes, the Carlsbergs out of the drafts, no better beer,
Money.
no better
It's
beer.
funny. I feel like Europe, like the way that they make their beers, especially when you get it on draft, like just with high quality water
Mm,
and the way that they brew it with like minimal ingredients.
mm,
Oh,
yeah.
we just love stuffing 5 million ingredients into everything that we eat and drink here.
That's a whole other
Like I
podcast.
was going to ask you, one of the questions was, would you rather drink coffee at home or out at a coffee shop? And
Uh-huh.
your answer would be
Yeah, at home.
at home, right? It's because like you know what's going into
Oh,
it and what it's going to taste like, and you can make it to your thing, and it's doesn't like it's cost effective
yeah.
as well.
The Trader Joe's, I like oat milk.
Okay.
I always like cold coffee. It doesn't matter what time of the year. If it's cold outside, I'm having cold coffee, iced coffee. But the Trader Joe's oat milk, the best. And it's got oats and that's it. Water. I think that's it. That's all that's in it
Why do we call it oat milk? Like
because it looks
it's just
milky
oats.
and water. Yeah, it looks milky.
Mm-mm. You're right.
I guess it's a
Do we say
substitute.
rice milk?
Yeah, you do.
We do say
It's a
rice milk.
substitute to milk, I guess. So it's
Almond
like,
milk.
yeah, yeah.
It's just almonds
And
and
water.
water
Yeah.
and sugar for Americans.
And soybean oil and
Yeah.
yeah, whatever else they like to. Guar gum. Yeah. This is a whole other. You should bring my wife Brittany on. She'll
Oh
talk about
no.
this for yeah.
Oh boy.
It'll be an hour long
Down
podcast.
the rabbit hole.
Oof.
That might be a good idea,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah. I don't know what that's relevant to real estate, but
Yeah, I don't think we've talked about anything really relevant to real estate in this segment so far. Um, yeah, speaking of real estate, what
Right.
are you most nervous about with becoming a realtor?
Oh, it's funny because it's always something I've been really excited about. I remember like talking since we talked when I was at Houston about buying a place out here. And
Yeah,
I think I don't know, most nervous, maybe dealing with difficult clients.
sure.
Just dealing with people. It's always hard dealing with people who are difficult in general, who
Hmm.
think they're entitled or whatever. And like you see it, I've been actually, small random story. We were at a hotel the other day. We were in Denver this weekend, and this lady goes up to the guy. It's 7 p.m. She's checking in, and the guy's asking for her email and phone number. And she said her phone number literally like this. I'll just say my phone number. She goes 505-219-5253. And the guy goes, I'm
Huh?
sorry, can you, yeah. And she said it like 4 times in a row. And he was like, okay, so 505. And then
Slow it down.
she was like screaming at him. And then she did the same thing with her email. And I was like, so he left, or yeah, the lady left, was all like
Yeah.
grumbling. And I was like, I'm so sorry that she was doing that to you. Like, I just went up. And then he's like, can I get your phone number? We both started laughing. But yeah, but it's just like some people, like that kind of situation. I just feel like, why? Like, why can't you just treat a guy with kindness? And it was just, and this, he was probably like in his young, he was 20s, low 20s. So it
Yeah.
just didn't deserve that. And he's like, oh, I'm used to it. And I was like, you shouldn't be. So that's why I'm saying it's difficult, because I think I have a little bit of self awareness to be like, I don't deserve to be treated like this.
Yeah.
And so I might, it's a tough line of, is the customer right? Or, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I think to change that perspective a little bit, my clients are really, really cool,
Mm,
understanding. And part of it is that the way that you communicate with them, right? But it's taking people that are understanding and then trying to negotiate with a buyer or seller on the other side,
mm,
or I'm not even going to say agent, buyer or seller on the other side that is unreasonable
mm,
and not fun to work with.
sure.
That's where it gets really difficult
Yeah.
because you're fighting on behalf of your clients and you're dealing with people that, one, you don't even get to communicate with them directly, but two, they just can be so unreasonable that it's
Mm,
almost impossible to get a deal together.
yeah.
And at the end of the day, what you're trying to do is like get your client into the best position and the best place that they want to be in.
Yeah.
And sometimes the house is worth dealing with a
Sure.
ridiculous seller. Other times it's like, look, guys, if this is the way that they're going to treat you on the front end, how have they treated their house over the years, their neighbors over
Yeah.
the years? Like it just may not be the best place
Yeah.
for you. So I think that's a good starting point
Yeah.
of just being able to understand that and take that into as you move forward as a realtor.
Yeah.
Like,
I like
how
that.
can I still maximize and fight for my clients even when I'm dealing with ridiculous people?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
there's a lot of those out there in the world.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. Joining tradition, obviously you have a lot of choices when you make a decision to get licensed and where you hang your license. There's
Yeah.
big companies, there's local companies. Uh, we're grateful to have you, Niko, and excited. Niko is uh, our first broker. He's got a great resume. We've talked about professional soccer, dual citizen. He understands moving. He understands different cultures and perspectives, which I think is important. He understands hard work and being driven and uh, being able to take something and turn it into, or being able to take nothing and turn it into something. And so we're excited to have you on the team.
Thank you.
Anything else you want to add to this before I wrap it up fully?
No, I think and obviously there was a little part of it in my introduction on Instagram and stuff, but I think the main reason I joined, it was almost a no brainer. I've been thinking about real estate, working with you on our house. This was going to be our first home, with our little baby. And I just like immediately just kind of clicked for me, and I understood like, oh, like this is how you like treat someone in this process and help them along and
Yeah.
give them the peace and joy. And like we looked at, I don't even know how many, handful of houses, different areas, different neighborhoods, and we even ended up going a different route than what we expected, and it ended up being the best thing that we could have done. And I think you just like made it so clear to us, and answered questions at 10 p.m. that I was texting you, hey, what about this, what about that? So I think there was just a level of like, oh, I understand that this, he cares about us. And
Mm-hmm.
I guess you could say not himself, in looking at, you're saying all these other companies and things like that. So I'm just excited to kind of just emulate that, and I think that's where like my experience was with it, and so that's what I want to do too. So I think
Sweet.
it's just I'm honored to be here, and yeah, I'm excited to be part of this.
Heck yeah. Well, thank you guys for joining along in this interview. Hopefully, it was a little bit of fun and you got to know a good friend here, Niko. And if you are ever thinking of buying or selling a home here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, give us a call.
Yep.
Contact information will be somewhere in this video or down below. And yeah, we look forward to seeing you on the next video. Take care.
Thank you.